All right, so welcome to June 17th special city council meeting on the 2021 budget. Consistent with the governor's orders suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and banning gatherings of up to more than 10 people. This meeting will be conducted by remote participation at the greatest extent possible. The public may not physically attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to attend the meeting in real time. So persons wishing to log in, they can log in on the city website. And let's see here. And if you are calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to speak. And if you're watching on a computer or a device, there is a raise hand button that you can press to request to speak or to be recognized to speak. Madam Clerk, can we have the next order of business, please? The first order of business.
The order of business is for council vote, the adoption of the FY21 budget.
Councilor Cox.
Hi, everybody. I just have a quick opening statement and some procedural stuff to go over before I start on the budget. Let's see. I am pleased to present the recommendations of the Budget and Finance Committee for the city's budget for fiscal year 2021, which begins on July 1st, 2020. Overall spending in the general fund amounts to $117,856,016, of which $44,388,897 is set aside for our schools. We are a city of some 30,000 people covering 42 square miles with 60 miles of coastline. Between all city services and departments, we rely on over 1,400 skilled municipal employee base to keep our city running smoothly. We extend our appreciation for the professional work by Mayor Taken's team, in particular CAO Jim Destino, CFO Treasurer John Dunn, Assistant to the CAO Vanessa Krasik, Financial Analyst Grace McCann, and our school committee and school management team. This council appreciates our own staff's hard work in this process. City Auditor Kenny Costa, City Clerk Joanne Sinos, Assistant City Clerk Grace Poirier. All city department heads carefully explained and defended their appropriation request, first to the mayor's team, then to Budget and Finance, line by line, dollar by dollar. It is a careful, deliberative process, making efforts at every step to be open, public, and accessible, respecting the needs of the city and the hard-earned financial support provided by our city's taxpayers. Our financial stewardship means that our independent auditors in Massachusetts Department of Revenue positive review and acceptance will result. The Budget and Finance Committee appreciates this has been a very tough budget year for the Mayor's office to bring into a balance due in part to COVID-19, uncertainty of state aid, grant revenues declining, significant debt service that remains. As reviewed and tightened by CAO Jim Destino and CFO John Dunn and the department heads, this budget, within constraints of our contractual obligations, is already lean and mean and may be amended in the fall pending on the recovery of the economy and state budget. All motions to be put forward were voted by members of the Budget and Finance Committee. Councillor Scott Memhard is Vice Chair, Councillor John McCarthy, and myself. For each department, the amount of personal services, ordinary maintenance, capital outlay, and any special transfers will be signified in a single motion as read by myself, with the exception of one department, the school department. Each line item will be considered to have been separately voted otherwise. I will motion the vote. Vice Chair of Budget and Finance, Councillor Scott Memhard, will second for the record, and upon the council's roll call vote, I will announce the results of each vote. All motions will require a roll call vote due to the remote meeting. So that being said, I would like to present to you the consent agenda that was sent today for approval. Does anybody have anything that they would like to pull off the consent agenda? Seeing none, I just gotta flip to the other page real quick. All right, seeing none, I don't see any hands. So I move the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All right, roll call vote. Counselor Pett,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, yes. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren,
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes for the consent agenda, 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. Thank you. Switching gears now to the other motions. All right. So these in particular motions that I pulled separately were in regards to free cash, revenues, water and sewer, and the school budget. I feel like those are important items that should not be on a consent agenda and should be discussed on their own. So I'm going to start reading the motion. Counselor Memhard will second. Counselor Memhard and his cat will second.
I've got
And
help.
we will move this forward. Budget and Finance voted unanimously in favor to recommend the City Council appropriate in the amount of $350,000 from the general fund undesignated fund balance free cash to the general fund balance reserved for special purposes. The purpose of this appropriation from general fund undesignated fund balance free cash is to reduce the fiscal year 2021 tax levy, and I so move.
Second.
Roll call vote. Counselor Pett,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, yes. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren,
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. Next motion. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend the City Council appropriate in the amount of $450,000 from the Sewer Enterprise Fund, undesignated fund balance, to Sewer Enterprise Fund reserved for special purposes account. The purpose of this appropriation from Sewer Enterprise Fund retained earnings free cash is to reduce the sewer user charges for fiscal year 2021, and I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Sorry, I forgot that on the last one. All right, roll call vote. Counselor Pett,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, yes. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren,
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend the City Council appropriate in the amount of $6,070 from the Talbot Rank Enterprise Fund retained earnings to Talbot Rank Enterprise Fund reserved for special purposes. The purpose of this appropriation from the Talbot Rank Enterprise Fund retained earnings free cash is to stabilize the Talbot Rank Enterprise Fund user fee for fiscal year 2021, and I so move.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote. Counselor Pett,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, yes. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren,
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yeah.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed. Roll call vote. Next motion. Budget and Finance voted unanimously in favor to recommend that the City Council approve FY21 School Department budget in the amount of $44,388,897, and I so move.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none. Counselor Pett?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed. Roll call vote. The next motion is for the FY21 General Fund revenues. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve FY21 General Fund revenue, including other financing sources in the amount of $118,256,16, and I so move.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote. Counselor Pett?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed. Roll call vote. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend the City Council approve FY21 overlay reserved for abatements and exemptions in the amount of $400,000, and I so move.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote. Counselor Pett?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. The total net available funds for FY21, $117,856,16. The next vote is going to be for the Water Enterprise appropriations. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend the City Council approve the total FY21 Water Enterprise appropriations as follows. Personal Services, $1,746,825. Ordinary Maintenance, $3,025,035. Capital Outlay, $229,421. Debt Service, $2,067,034 for a total of $7,068,315, and I so move.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote. Counselor Pett?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. Water Enterprise revenues. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend the City Council approve the FY21 Water Enterprise revenues as follows. $7,068,315, and I so move.
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote. Counselor Pett?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. The water rate, Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve the FY21 water rate of $8.98 per 1,000 gallons for a 12-month billing period effective July 1, 2020, retroactive to April 1st, 2020. And I so move.
second,
Further discussion. I just want to add that this is a 50 cents or a 5.9% increase over FY20 water rate of $8.48 per 1,000 gallons. Roll call vote. Counselor Pett,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, yes. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren,
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
yes,
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. Moving on to the sewer enterprise appropriations. The Budget and Finance Committee voted unanimously to recommend the City Council approve the FY21 sewer enterprise appropriations as follows. Personal services, $1,706,602. Ordinary maintenance, $4,515,344. Capital outlay, $209,421. Debt service, $2,599,457 for a total of $9,030,824. And I so move.
second,
Further discussion. Seeing none, roll call vote. Counselor Pett,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, yes. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren,
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
yes,
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. Sewer enterprise revenue. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve FY21 sewer enterprise revenue as follows. Total revenue, $9,030,824, and I so move.
second,
Further discussion. Roll call vote. Counselor Pett,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, yes. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren,
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
yes,
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. Sewer rate. Budget and Finance unanimously recommended that the City Council approve FY21 sewer rate of $15.31 per 1,000 gallons for a 12-month billing period effective July 1, 2020, retroactive to April 1st, 2020, and I so move.
second,
Further discussion? Seeing none. Just want to add that this is a 48 cents or a 3.24 increase over FY21 sewer rate of $14.83 per 1,000 gallons. Roll call vote. Counselor Pett,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, yes. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren,
Yes.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
yes,
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Motion passes 9 in favor, 0 opposed by roll call vote. That is the last motion that we have this evening. I just wanted to say a few things before we wrap up the meeting. The FY21 budget for the general fund, CPA, and the 4 enterprise funds total approximately $135 million. That's a modest increase of 3.4% for the fiscal year from the fiscal year 2020 budget, which reflects mainly our increasing fixed costs such as pension obligations and healthcare costs. Through the efforts of the Mayor's Office and the support of the City Council, the City has adopted a capital plan funding and free cash distribution policy that sets aside 40% of free cash to the Capital Stabilization Fund, 20% to the Building Maintenance Stabilization Fund. There's approximately $2.7 million in the Capital Project Stabilization Fund that is available to fund capital items. There's also approximately $1.7 million in the Building Maintenance Stabilization Fund that is available to fund building maintenance items. There's also approximately $6.2 million in the General Stabilization Fund set aside for rainy days. I'm sure we can all agree that this event has become a huge rainy day for us. I'm thankful that we have these reserves and the forward thinking of the administration with the support of the City Council. These stabilization funds are a great insurance policy for an emergency, and we will need these funds to weather the storm. The budget represents a considerable effort on part of the administration, the council, the school committee, and the auditor's office to wring value out of every taxpayer dollar. I commend all of those who participated in this process for their long hours, careful attention to detail. I would like to especially thank the city clerk, Joanne Sinos, and city auditor, Kenny Costa, who have shared this long journey and provided with immense support. So thank you, everybody. That concludes another lovely year of budget meetings for us. This was definitely a new process, definitely pros and cons on both sides. So thank you to everybody, the administration, the counselors, the public, everyone. Thank you.
And thank you, Madam
Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you, Councilor Cox.
Thank you, counselors.
I want to echo your statement. This was new. It was something that we have never done before. You guys did a very good job. BNF did an amazing job. Kenny Costa did a great job. John Dunn, our administration, the mayor, Jim Destino, Vanessa. The list goes on and on and on about people that helped get this budget balanced. This wasn't a good process, but it was a process that we went through. Every year is a different year, and this was probably the most difficult year we've ever done, trying to communicate online instead of in person. So we appreciate everything you guys do. One thing before we leave, Jim Destino is retiring. I think Monday is officially his last day. So thank you, Jim, for everything you've done to us. I just want to recognize our superintendent, Rich, over the years. I have a lot of respect for Rich, and we make a great team. And I want to heighten team, because that's what we are. Every time I called him, and I'm sure every time any other counselor or any city staff has called him, he has reached back, and it's been nothing but great things. So thank you, Rich. And also Kathy Clancy, thank you for your tenure on the school committee. You're going to be missed. So we're looking forward to some things that you can do in the future, and don't be a stranger, stay involved. But thank you, everybody, for doing this. And I'm gonna ask counselors if they would like to say something before we close. Councilor Gilman?
Councilor Blank, thanks so much for recognizing Dr. Sapphire, but I just want to echo that. I was actually the school committee chair that hired him quite a while ago, and I'm glad he's on the call. This will be his last meeting, and thank you, Rich, for doing a great job for our schools. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who'd like to say something? Councilor Cox?
I apologize for not recognizing the audience. We had school committee member Kathy Clancy and Dr. Sapphire with us for the entire process. So we appreciate you being here this evening.
Councilor Pat?
Yes, I just like, this is my first time going through the budget process, et cetera. And I'd like to thank not only Chairperson Cox and members McCarthy and Memhart, but mostly the administration, the mayor's office, the chief administrative officer, now retired, and I guess fisherman and granddad in chief, Jim Destino. Thank you to him and V for all the work you put into this. John Dunn in your office, Kenny Costa. I just like to thank everyone. There are very few communities that have been able to put forth a budget. Most are holding off because they're not in the financial situation that Jim Destino was able to lead us to over this last number of years. And again, as the mayor says, it's as a team. I'd like to thank all of those that made this possible. And again, a thank you also to on the school side. Thank you, Dr. Sapphire, and to Kathy for your time in leading our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Councilor McCarthy.
Yeah, I'd like to echo what everybody has said and thanking everybody, but I'd also like to add, when we reviewed the budget, there were a lot of unions that have come to the table and agreed on contracts, and that's really important going forward, that we have that stability. And a lot of the retro money was added into the budget, so we don't have to go looking for that next year. So I think that we ought to recognize the rank and file and the unions that have come to the table and signed and are going to sign, because it is a collaborative effort between administration and the working force of the city. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Councilor Holmgren.
I want to echo what everyone has said, and I am deeply grateful. We have been penny wise as a city, and it is paying off now. So again, many, many thanks to Budget and Finance, to the City Council, both past and present, and especially to City Administration, Kenny Costa, Joanne Sinos, and for helping us get this done.
Thank you, Councilor Holmgren. Anybody else like to say anything before we close?
I'd just like to, again, thank our chair of Budget and Finance, Councilor Melissa Cox, and also John McCarthy. This is his first budget year, and he made a very sound contribution to the process and brought a lot of experience to the table to help this process along. So thank you, and thank you all.
Thank you, Council Memhard. Anybody else? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Councilor Pett.
You want me to call it?
I think I memorized it by now. Councilor Pett. Motion to adjourn has been moved and seconded.
Yes.
Councilor Cox.
Yes.
Councilor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren.
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc. Yes. Councilor McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilor Memhard.
Yes, and thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, Councilor Nolan
Yes, thank you all, and have a great night.
and Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Budget and Finance team and city staff, thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
night.
Thank you,
We're
Counselor.
adjourned.